Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are solely for entertainment purposes and are not intended to harm or offend anyone.
Bigot, you can go.
Oh, what makes me a bigot, ma'am? Or sir? I'm not sure. I didn't misgender you, did I?
Oh, please, go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's not very ladylike.
Oh, now you're fucking misgendering me.
Okay.
Ladylike.
Oh, well, what are you exactly?
You're a victim.
None of your fucking business. What are you?
But you said I misgendered you. If I don't know what you are, how can I not misgender you?
Got him.
Why is this girl mad for asking what she is, but also mad when he assumes her gender? This girl needs to get her head straight and stop playing the victim.
Kamala Harris would be a much better president than Donald Trump. Welcome in.
Hi.
Hi. So, do you mind if I give you my reasons why I think that Harris would be a better president?
If you want.
Yeah, so...
You stupid.
There's two main categorical reasons why I say Harris would be better than Trump. The first category is character. The second category is policy. Let's start off with character. First of all, Trump is a felon, Trump is a fraudster, Trump is an election denier, he's a dictator on day one, wannabe fascist, okay?
What?
Kamala Harris is none of those. Kamala Harris wants to protect and preserve a democracy.
Are you sure about that?
She wants to fight for the freedoms of all Americans, especially the 170 million American women and girls. And then we could reference policy next. If you want to respond to character, go for it. If you want me to hop straight into policy, I can do that too.
Well, starting with character, I technically do not think she's a good person. Speaking of which, if we're bringing up stuff from the past, we can say she slept with Willie Brown, broke up a family just to get her job. And while she was there, she used a firm that was putting people in jail that had false positives on drug tests, and she knew they had false positives. She admitted to that, and she was still putting mainly black and brown people in jail. Considering I'm both, that is very much a big issue for me. And also that a woman shouldn't represent, they should just sleep to the top of their job. They should actually work hard for it. I generally don't think that she's a good representative. There's plenty of other women out there.
Yeah, I have a question. How many votes did she get in a run for AG? Do you know? How many votes did she get in a run?
We're talking about character, though.
Of course. We'll talk
character
about
and morals. And if we're mentioning character and morals here, she's clearly not a good person.
Yeah, I'm responding to your
just
claim.
Like you have mentioned all that stuff about Trump, which could be true.
Got him.
I mean, she ain't even wrong. We all know how Kamala Harris got her high career position, and you can think to yourself what was meant by that.
So I can't have an opinion on abortion because I don't have a uterus, but I can be a woman without one? Got it.
These woke logics don't really add up. It seems like no one really knows what it's even about, other than acting like donuts.
So wait a sec, how are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure, right? Like none of this stuff in the studio is built or maintained by women. You know that like 90% of infrastructure jobs are still held by men, and that if you look at the top 20 jobs held by women now in 2024 versus 1924 are almost the exact same. So women have had 100 years to do whatever they want, and they still do the same 20 jobs they did 100 years ago, other than we switched out farm labor for HR work. But other than that, we're secretaries, nurses, daycare ladies, early childhood education, administrative assistants, retail workers, all the same we were a century ago. So if the men are the ones tasked with every time there's a natural disaster, they have to go out and rescue people from the fires and the floodwaters, and every time there's a war, the men have to go and fight it and defend the country, and anytime there's a criminal who needs to be violently arrested, it's going to be a man who goes and does that, not a woman. Where does the equality come in?
Gotcha.
This woman straight up made them speechless. Look, all these feminists say they care about equal rights until it comes to getting sent to the front line.
Do you understand that as a white man, you do not have to apologize for being white? You just have to acknowledge the racism that happens around you.
What do you mean by that?
That is all.
What racism happens around me?
Let's say that a racist police officer shoots me, right, and kills me, right? For you to be a white man and you see that and don't say anything about it.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I believe that my community would be upset about that.
You're a victim.
Now, all you have to do as a white man, you don't have to get on the internet or on Twitter and say, I'm sorry for being white. But you should should at least acknowledge the racism that happens around you.
What did that just mean?
Okay, well, yeah, if an individual act of racism happens...
That is just taking accountability for what happens around you.
Hold on a second. First of all, I don't have to be accountability for a whole race, do I? Why do I have to be accountable for the white race?
For yourself.
Right, so if I'm racist, I'll take responsibility for that.
You probably are not racist, but...
Thank you. So then why do I have to comment on somebody else's racism?
But what you should do is take accountability for the racism around you. Not pretend that it doesn't happen around you.
How can I take responsibility for somebody else's actions?
What you should do is just take accountability and say, hey, yes, that was racist, instead of saying, no, that officer wasn't racist.
Stop it. Get some help.
Hold on. You got to show me an instance and an example, but we're talking about such a micro problem that doesn't exist. Do you know that a black person is 18.5 times more likely to shoot and kill a police officer than a police officer is to go and shoot an unarmed black man?
But is that the question that I asked you?
No, you asked a hypothetical about if I'm going to take accountability for a racist police officer. But I mean, you don't understand, if I inverted it on you, would you take accountability for all the blacks killing police in America?
That was funny.
No.
What?
Oh, would you? No. Why don't you take accountability for all the blacks killing police in New York?
I wouldn't take accountability for it.
Oh my God!
What I would say is, yes, there are a lot of black people in my community who do dumb things to other black people and to other white people. What I would not do is just pretend that it doesn't happen, so that, like I said, you as a white man has to do the same thing.
I acknowledge it happens. I also acknowledge it's rarer than lightning striking you when you're outside.
That's it.
But let me ask you, who is Tony Timpa?
That's all I wanted you to. That's all I wanted you to do. Thank you.
I acknowledge it's rare, and I'm not going to have to take responsibility for an entire race at all. It's wrong and it's terrible. I wish we could have continued the conversation.
Bro really tried to make this man say sorry for being white. The problem with guys like these is that he could just say, hey, I'm racist and I don't like you because you are white. But he really tried making a whole story up about his ancestors.
No, I'm speaking. 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 No, I'm speaking.
Got it.
Thank you. So it's not, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the person.
No,
I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't care. No, listen. The fetus, the whatever. I don't care about that right now until it is formed. If there is a 5-year-old child who is pregnant and the baby is 2 weeks in utero, actually they have given birth.
Okay.
There is one recorded case of a 5-year-old girl who gave birth.
Is that common?
Yes, it's common for 5-year-olds get sometimes, and if they get pregnant, I think they should be able to have medical access to something that could save not only just their life, but like their livelihood.
How many, I'm curious.
I hope your daughter lives a very happy life and gets away from you.
So get this right, her argument for abortion is that there have been one recorded case of a 5-year-old given birth, and come on, that must be a false study. But even after all this, she still managed to say that she hopes that he gets separated with his loving daughter. She literally is the perfect example of how insane some of these wokies are. Anyways, if you don't want to wake up as a wokie, then like the video.